Callum bought a Birmingham City shirt. Everyone pass it on.
It's like getting ChatGPT to
It,
tell
it,
you
it
about
probably
a football shirt, isn't it? Birmingham City qualify for the Club World Cup next time around. Do you
mm.
watch it? I just don't understand why of all the players we could pick to sacrifice for PSR, he just is nowhere near the top of my list.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this week's Second City podcast. Absolute pleasure to have you with us. I'm Daniel Sketchley.
And I'm Callum Byrne.
As I say, welcome back. A little bit later this week, but it's our pleasure to be back with you. A bit more of a going to do something a little bit different this week, I guess. Just a bit more of a sort of catch-up housekeeping episode. Obviously, Blues season finished about how long ago?
3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, yeah, about 2.5, 3 weeks ago. Villa had another game. They played Spurs. Obviously, by the time this gets out, the episode will have been released.
It'll be at least a week,
game.
yeah.
Yeah, so we're not going to spend too long on it. There's kind of not too much to touch on, really. So in general, we're just going to do a bit more of a little housekeeping episode. What's been going on? What news has there been at both clubs? Because there have been some updates as we transition into the closed season. We will have a little, just very briefly touch as well on Coventry and Walsall, who had their playoff semi-finals and so on, to contrasting fortunes. So we'll get onto all that. But first of all, Cal, how are you? You keeping well?
Yeah, pretty good, thank you. Getting ready for the summer, and
Yeah.
I'm kind of ready for the football season to end now.
Yeah.
I've had a great time this season. It's been fun, but I'm ready for a bit of a break. But I'm not looking forward to the transfer window because I think it's going to be a tough one.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm the same. I'm kind of. It's always. I said it last week or the week before. It's always good to have a break. You know, these people that are just. There's people who need football in their lives constantly. I'm not really. I think it's good to have a few weeks off. I'm sure by like the start of July, end of June, I'll be itching for it all. Obviously, with no. I'm not counting the Club World Cup as a major tournament
No,
because it's not. No
I have a
international
question for you,
tournaments.
Dan.
Yes.
So, Birmingham City qualify for the Club World Cup next time around. Do you
Mm.
watch it?
I'd watch it, but you never know until like
Until
it's
you're in
reality.
it. Yeah.
But to me, it's a pre-season tournament. It's not, and I really don't like the whole um, Gianni Infantino. I really don't like everything he's doing. I find him really. I think he's a very, a very strange character, and I hate the way his name's on the trophy and stuff. You've seen all that. Yeah, no, I almost feel uncomfortable. I know he's the head of FIFA, and I watch the FIFA World Cup, the international one, every time, game to game, every single game. But no, I won't watch any of it this summer. I have no interest in
Oh
it
no, I have
whatsoever.
no interest. I mean, I don't even know how it's on DAZN, is it? I don't even know how you watch DAZN.
Possibly, which is also like a
But
fatal flaw for them. You know, like they clearly want. We're going off on a tangent here, but they clearly want
yeah.
like they were trying to replicate the FIFA World Cup at club level, but I feel like they fundamentally don't. They just don't get it. That's not how it works. You kind of can't. It's like,
No.
well, we're big football people, but the beauty of the World Cup and the Euros is you don't have to be. You can just be in it. You don't have to have ever watched football before, and you've got an instant way into it. It's accessible for
And the
everyone.
World Cup has a mass appeal because it's your nation. And so
Exactly.
even
Exactly.
your family and friends that do not watch football, keep an eye on what's going on because it's your nation. You want to see how
Yeah.
Eurovision's on. You watch it to see how the UK gets 0 points,
Sure. Although I didn't sadly see much of Eurovision at all. Saw some of the results in a pub, and that was it. Um, But no, exactly, and little things like the World Cup's also on. It's on ITV and BBC, so you can watch all of it. You know, sticking it on DAZN or whatever. I don't even know how you get. I don't even know. I don't know how you get
Well,
DAZN.
none of the free-to-air broadcasters wanted it, so they were
I
offered
don't
it, and
blame.
even Channel 5 turned it down.
Wow, that says a lot. That does say a lot. Um,
Anyway,
cool. Let's get into the second city goings on then. Are you doing what we doing? What we're wearing this week? Have you got anything to touch on? I haven't
I
really.
well, I have a little bit
Let's
really,
go for it
because
then.
I haven't worn this
Let's go
yet.
for it.
I wore something very similar, maybe like 3 months ago,
Yeah.
but it's just a nice tracksuit training shirt. But it is a player version. This was worn by a former Aston Villa player. So can you, without me showing you the number yet, can you work out who it was?
You mean that exact one?
This exact one that I'm wearing
Um,
was is was a player's that
well, it's a
trained
sort of.
in this sort of jacket thing. It has the number to prove that it was theirs.
It's a sort of minty toothpaste color. I'm gonna say, well, it's Under Armour, so I don't know when they were your kit maker. I think it's quite a while ago. I'm gonna guess sort of 2016-ish. I could be way off. Who was your star man in 2016? Albert Adoma. You were a big fan of his. I'll go Albert Adoma.
Well, I never said it was a star, man, but I'll show you. You're in the right ballpark. You see the
Number
number?
11, Robert Snodgrass. I don't
No.
know. I
Well,
can't
it's
remember
what
his
it's
number 11.
probably one of your least favorite
Scott
players from
Hogan.
Aston
Sorry.
Villa ever because of
Oh,
all the
yeah.
goals they scored against you,
I
and
mean,
just had his Premier League record broken a mere few weeks ago. It is Gabby Agbonlahor.
fair pace merchant, Gabby Agbonlahor. Talksport's finest, Gabby Agbonlahor. How did you come across this? Did you win it at an auction?
Found it on Vinted for like 15 quid, but it had been won in an auction at the end of the season, and
Nice.
someone got rid of it and picked it up.
Nice
Nice
collector's
little
item.
addition to the collection.
That's one thing. Yeah, I don't really. For all the shirts I know, I've got loads of great, beautiful shirts. I don't have any like sort of former player ones or anything like that. The closest I came was I went to Reading away when we got promoted, 2009, and we were on the front row when we got promoted, and like the players came out. They came out. Obviously, they were giving their shirts, like the match one shirts. They were just giving them to people in the crowd. And then they came out in like shirts saying like promoted 2009 or whatever. And then they were giving them away as well. And Seb Larsson was walking up to us. We were literally on the front row, like behind the goal, and he's walking up to us holding it. And I thought he was coming straight to me, and then he gave it to my cousin who was stood next to me, and I was like, "No!"
Oh,
And then Marcus Bent did the same. He was coming up to me, and he gave it to like a little girl right behind me. So I was like, "Well, I can't be too angry about that." But I thought he was coming to
yeah.
me as well. So no, I don't actually have any of them. But no, very good. What do you think I'm wearing, Cal? I've worn it before. Very, very brief one. I will get some new kits on soon, I promise. But I'm thinking like, may
For
as
the
well
new
wait. We
season.
got the new
Yeah,
season.
yeah.
Yeah,
This is that 18-19 home
very
or
close.
is
This is
the
17,
year
18
before?
home. Yeah, year before. So it's Adidas, Triple Eight Sport as the sponsor, kind of the white collar. I love this shirt. You got me this one actually.
Is this the one I bought? Yeah,
It
yeah.
is, yes. So it's been a while. I have worn this on the pod before, but it was a while ago. I never bought this one at the time because it was quite similar to the one we had the year before, which was it was the same but didn't have the white collar on it, and uh, but so I got the away instead. I've still got it upstairs. It's just the same, but the colors are inversed. But then I always regretted not getting this one, and this it's just the perfect shade of blue. It looked so good when we were playing in it, and I regretted not buying it. And I kind of just associate it with I was in my last year at uni when the season was going on. I know it was a terrible season, but obviously we only just stayed up under it was who was it? It was Redknapp, Cottrell,
Cottrell?
Monk. Yeah, yeah. So we just about stayed up. But I always regretted not getting it. I just kind of weirdly have some fond memories, even though it was awful. But then you spotted it on Vinted
Oh, that was
or
a
one of
Vinted purchase, yeah.
it was. You did me a favour. So Callum bought a Birmingham City shirt. Everyone pass it
I
on.
know. I had to have it in my house for about a month.
You did,
And
yeah, you did.
ew.
No, it could never be me doing it the other way around, but I'm very grateful because it's a lovely shirt. So yeah, it's got some yeah, one of my one of my favourites we've had over the last few years. Yeah, lovely shirt. 17-18 home. Cool. Shall we crack on with some I guess some housekeeping. Should we start with you? I guess you could very briefly touch on the Spurs game if you want, but otherwise, what's been going on in B6?
Well, we kept the Champions League hopes alive by beating Spurs, who could not give a single crap about the game that we played on Friday. They all eyes for them were on the Europa League final, which they won last night. So the league was a bit of a write-off for them. But we needed the 3 points, which we got. What a rare goal from Boubacar Kamara. I don't know if you ever have this, Dan. You always get that one player who picks the ball up maybe on the edge of the box, and everyone in the crowd goes, shoot. And you're the one there going, no, don't shoot because it's not going in. Boubacar Kamara is like that with me. I'm always the one, he picks the ball up, and everyone's going, shoot. And I'm like, no.
Everyone
But he,
except Tamaki Iwata at Blues. I'm like, no, don't shoot.
um, but yeah, he scored his second ever goal for us, and we won 2-0. So yeah, it all comes down to Sunday, Man United away, where it takes us into the bit of the housekeeping we've got. The we're going to be wearing our new away shirt. We have become one of those clubs, Dan, that wears next season's shirt on the final day of the season. I
It's
never thought it's not something I'm fond of, but I never thought I'd see the day where Aston Villa, the club who always releases its kits after everybody else, is one of the first.
Yeah, I mean, we'll get on to. I have a. It'll all be a part of this segment. I'll have
Yeah.
my sort of kit rant coming up soon once you're finished on this bit because I have some opinions.
Yeah, well, the kit was launched there because we opened a new store in the Bull Ring, so it's been 10 years, just maybe just under 10 years since we lost our store that we had in town, which used to be on Corporation Street, where I used to pick up a few bargains at the end of the season. It was a nice little store to have if you, because Villa Park if can be a bit of a trek to get to, as whereas town is just perfect. And obviously, if you're trying to be a bit of a touristy city like Birmingham is, it's weird that there was no there wasn't a blues shop and there wasn't a Villa shop in town anymore. So I wouldn't be surprised until I wouldn't be surprised if we see Tom Wagner trying to get a Birmingham City one opened in there at some point
Yeah, I
because it
mean,
just makes sense, doesn't it?
it does. I mean, I know we've got the Nike store, which is right by the ball itself. And but we don't have much of a presence in there really. Like you go in and there's some blue shirts on like the top floor, but yeah, I think they'll either do something with that or they'll have a much bigger presence in there. Because I completely agree. If they're trying to expand the brand and make it more touristy, get a shop going. Because
Yeah,
even
because
Blues,
the
I know it's
because
closer
the
to
Villa
town than Villa, but it's still like it's out your way. You've got to specifically be going looking for it to find it. You know.
yeah, that's the thing. It's a weird one because it is a Villa store, but it also isn't. It's more of an Adidas store. It's like a half and half. So there's an Adidas section and an Aston Villa section. So you can get kit printing done in there. So it does work as an actual Villa store. So that opened and they tied that in with the new away kit and they've tied that in with being able to wear that on the final day of the season. So Villa being very proactive in a way that we haven't seen for a long time or ever before. Um, Thoughts on the kit? It's all right.
It's all right. Nothing special.
It's nothing special, which I'm certain I was trying to dig it out this afternoon, but I was certain that I saw a tweet say from like that was on like Villa Report like 6 months ago where the hierarchy at the club had seen the kits for this season and thought they were the upcoming season that they were the best kits we had ever had. So I had quite high expectations for the three kits, and so this new away shirt is a bit underwhelming. But sometimes it depends. That kit, you need to see it on the field of play, and sometimes when you actually go and see the shirt in real life, you get a better sense for what it's like as opposed to seeing it online. But a bit underwhelming. My main pet peeve with it, and not to be a moaner or whatever, but I hate this trend in modern football where your replica shirts have details missing compared to the authentic shirts, which are almost double the price.
Yeah.
It is not a good thing. It is a rip-off, and an £85 shirt should be had the same design elements. I don't want it, I'm not expecting it to have the fancy material and the heat pressed badge and things like that. But I also don't want it to look like a completely different shirt. So the design, which I'm sure we'll come on to, is designed. It's basically like the design of Selfridges, like the big circles on the Selfridges in the bull ring,
Yeah.
um, on the shirt. So you've got it across the shoulders, but then the actual imprint is on the authentic. There's like little ones imprinted throughout the front and I assume the back of the shirt, but it's not on the replica shirt.
Yeah.
So it's if it'd be like say this kit that I've got here, be like if it didn't have the pattern on it unless you bought the authentic. It looked like
Yeah.
a completely different shirt. So I don't like that. And I hope that's not a feature of the other kits we're going to have this season. So, um, but yeah, I'm not going to be buying it for 85 quid, I don't think. But
That's scandalous. Scandalous, 85 quid.
yeah,
I had that with the blue when I went into the Blues Nike store like I don't know a month ago, and I thought I was like, oh, well, if the pro because I haven't bought any from this season yet. Who knows if they go to a super low deal, I might look into it. But
surely you got to get yourself a Duke shirt, Dan.
maybe. Well, I was planning to get the third, even though I wasn't mad on the third one. I was like, I was tempted to get it with the Virtue Trophy final embroidery on it, but I would get like an official one. But obviously that's not happening now. But I was in there like a month ago and it was still £65. I was like, for a League One kit that a season that's nearly finished. Obviously, in a perfect world, they wouldn't release a new kit every season because it's just complete commercial. Like, yeah, it's not for
It's
us, it's for them.
ridiculous.
It's crazy, for such minor things, for such minor changes every year. Um, but yeah, 85 quid, crazy, absolutely crazy for a kit that I think as well. When I saw your kit, and obviously I'm not, obviously it's a Villa kit, but like and I've had it with Blues kits over the years, ones that I'm not as mad on, and I'm like, did they ask any Blues fans what they wanted from a kit this year? Who designed that? That's going to be no one's favorite kit ever. I looked at your one and I was like, they could have blacked out the badge or could have done a blackout kit if they're going to go for that. Just do something unique with it. It's a very standard kit, especially if you're going back in. This is just my opinion. If you're going into the Champions League again as well after the season you've had, why would you not go all out and try and design a really special kit? It's like Blues this year. Like we got it's 150th anniversary this year, so I think expectations quite high for the kit. I don't know. I don't know why you wouldn't try and have that mentality every year though, to try and make your best kit. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see what the third kit's like because we are now an Adidas Elite team. So that means we're going to have basically means we're going to have the trefoil on the third kit, like the Elite Adidas clubs have had this year.
Yeah,
So I wonder if the third kit's going to be the real one for the away. But
yeah,
well,
maybe.
if you get what I mean.
Yeah, I get
Um,
what you mean. Yeah. So should we get into my kit opinions then, if
yes.
you don't mind, Cal. I mean, because it's all tied in. This is not a dig at Villa. This is
No.
just whilst we're on the subject, it's just something Villa do, but a lot of others do it. Blues have probably done it as well. First of all, the wearing next season's kit before that season ends, knock that shit off. I hate that. I'm not a fan at all. Um,
I find
it's
it weird because the Premier League wouldn't let us wear our anniversary kit in the Premier League like we wanted to.
Hmm,
But then they'll let you wear the next season's kit not in that year because it sometimes you have games on the final day and it really throws you out.
100%.
The one that really stands out is I think it was the 2021 FA Cup final where Leicester played Chelsea and
That's
Chelsea
exactly.
wore the next season's kit in the FA Cup final, but then they
But
played the
wasn't
Champions League final a few weeks later and wore that season's kit. And so in the same within 3 weeks they played two finals in two completely different kits.
But who was it recently that won something? It might have been Man United in the FA Cup last year. I can't remember. It was something like that. They wore next season's kit and won it in that kit. So they won, or it might be Man City the year before. They won. So
Should have
they
been
won something
City on the final
following.
day winning the league,
It
maybe.
might have been, yeah. So they won something in the following year's kit, which just looked. When you look back on the photos, you'd be like, "Oh, that's the kit from that season," but it wasn't that season. I can't stand that. It's always bothered me. I get why they do it, but whatever. Um, but my main contention with this, and this starts with Villa. So I've got up here, Aston Villa and Adidas reveal 25-26 away kit. So here's the just start of the statement. Villa and Adidas are delighted to unveil the club's new 25-26 season away kit. Predominantly black, the design on the raglan shoulders is inspired by the Bull Ring, one of the iconic landmarks on the skyline of Birmingham, and where a brand new Aston Villa store opens today. And then it goes on about like here we go. So Adidas said this. With Aston Villa's away kit, we wanted to create something that goes beyond performance, a jersey that captures the bold, modern spirit of Birmingham. The Ball Ring's architecture served as a perfect inspiration to tell the story of innovation and pride that run through the city and its football club. It's a design that speaks to the future while staying true to Aston Villa's identity, and we can't wait to see the players and fans wear it with pride next season. Excuse my French. We try not to swear too much on this podcast. What a load of bollocks. That is just like, it's a black shirt, mate. It's like, it's a dark coloured shirt, mate. It's like, and again, no, this is not aimed at Villa because I have another example from another club here. A lot of clubs do it. Here's
They all do it. Is it just the way to justify changing the kit every year, isn't it?
100%. It's complete nonsense, and they're just trying to come up with something. Just design a nice football shirt. No one cares. No one's buying it because it's got the pattern of the ball ring on it or something. But our mate Ethan's a Chelsea fan, and he sent us a screenshot of this last week. So they revealed their new home kit, I think, and it says the fabric of London is woven into every thread of our new kit, which is inspired by the capital's iconic landmarks and creative culture. Chelsea Town Hall is among the architectural landmarks subtly featured on the shirt, which was unveiled by Chelsea and Nike today. What like what a load of gobbledygook! Like it's a blue shirt with some pattern on it.
It's
Like
like getting GPT to
it,
tell
it,
you
it
about a
probably
football shirt, isn't it?
that's a good point. I would not be shocked if they are both. chat GPT generated, just garbage. That's my. Well, I think over the summer I've been tempted to do like an episode just all our football nitpicks, all little things in
Mm.
football that annoy you. Um, do an episode just on that, and this would be mine. This really bugs me. I don't know why. I'm glad Blues haven't done it yet, as far as I'm aware, but I
Oh,
wouldn't
I'm
be
sure
shocked.
it's coming.
They're probably, yeah, me too. Just design a nice kit. No one cares what or I certainly don't like.
Would you have
The,
more respect if they
like
came out and just went, "Yeah, we designed it because we thought it looked cool and good vibes," you know?
100%, 100%. Look at the. I'm wearing this shirt. This is just a plain blue shirt for the most part. Behind me, I've got the Flyby shirt and one of our Penguin shirts, and they're just really great kits. You know, they're just simple kits. Like your favorite. What's your favorite Villa shirt? Do you have a favorite Villa shirt?
I really love. I haven't got it behind me today, but I really love the 92 and 93 away, the yellow one, which has like the big badge sort of silhouette across
Yeah.
it. And this
What
goalie shirt,
part of
actually, I love this as well. But this is more the
that the
color.
a
Like the designs
Martinez
are right
green
on it,
one?
but
But
yeah.
what does that represent, Cal? What part of what Birmingham landmark is woven into that?
It's the color of the canal on a hot summer's day.
Oh, perfect. I'm sure that's what the statement said. Anyway, that's my mini rant over. Not a fan of all this. Again, not a thing aimed at Villa. It's a general thing that I could have dug up any club that said it, but just while we're on the topic. Um, but yes, 85 quid for the new Villa shirt. I don't know if I don't know. Gotta be pretty keen to get that, unless you're a big fan, I think.
Yeah, maybe when the home, if the home, I have high expectations for the home shirt this year. So if that's as nice as I think it's going to be, that will be worth buying it on release.
Fair enough. Anything else been going on in Villa World this week?
Well, we had our end of season awards
Ah,
last night, the same night as the Europa League final. So Yuri Tielemans won Players Player and Supporters Player of the season. Morgan Rogers took home Young Player of the season. John McGinn won Goal of the season for his goal against Paris Saint-Germain at Villa Park just a few weeks ago. And then there were some special awards. One was for Ollie Watkins, who got this really nice framed shirt signed by all the squad and a letter from Prince William um, to celebrate his breaking of the Premier League, the Aston Villa's Premier League record goals scored. And then there was also a little award for Robin Olsen, who's leaving the club at the end of the season. That's now been officially announced, even though we've kind of known for a while that he was not going to have his contract renewed. So he got a nice little thanks for your service, like dish thing. And then the women's awards were also done as well. Rachel Daly, unsurprisingly, took home player of the season, and Kirsty Hansen's rocket of a strike against Arsenal just a few weeks ago won goal of the season. Um, so there was that last night. We talked about the pricing of that event, I think on the
yes, we did.
last
Yeah.
episode. Um, as always, it looked like a good night and a good fun. It's just a shame that it was going to cost you like half a grand to attend it. So
Yeah. Take out a
um,
mortgage to go to the end of season awards.
yeah, so
Very good. Shall we move on to some blue stuff?
yes, tell me what's been going on, Dan. I've seen, I don't know if it's on your list of things to do, but I know that Tom Wagner's been in the news again.
Oh, well, I saw some stuff
Um,
with Tom Bagnet. I haven't watched it all. I thought he
uh,
was at Classic Football Shirts, wasn't he? He did a bit of a thing. It's a bit of a marketing thing with Ryan Reynolds and Tom Brady and stuff. Like, because I don't know if you saw was it when we played Wrexham at home? Tom Brady gave Rob McElhenney a blue shirt with Brady 12 on the back, and then they're just doing some PR stuff. I think just to build up some like Ryan Reynolds put a video out about it and stuff. I don't know. I think it's for charity as well. I think it's to raise some money.
but I think you've
I
bought a
don't
bit
know
more of the land at Wheels Park now.
Oh,
Um,
have we? Oh, that's new. I need to
so
be researching a bit more. That's news to me. I'll probably do
I
some
don't think
proper
you own
research.
all of it yet, but you bought a bit more of the land anyway.
Very good, very good. Well, that sounds promising for the new stadium. There was some news in terms of they approved part of the tram line, was it, up towards like the Wheels Park or Curzon Street, or between Curzon Street and the Wheels Park and something like that. All looking pretty promising. Lots of good stuff coming out. I know Tom Wagner's been saying about how he's hearing all the right things from the powers that be and in government and so on. He's hearing all the right things. It's time to start seeing it all in action. I know some people think. I know you've said before, like Tom Wagner's very front and center, but I think he's quite good at it all. I think it's all soft power probably to get to where he wants to get. But otherwise, stuff with Blues not been mad eventful, but Phil Neumann, who we signed in January, was announced he'd be coming in January from Hanover 96 as centre back. They actually did all the reveal photos and the reveal videos with him and so on. Speaking of wearing like next season's kits and stuff, I think it will look quite hard seeing Phil Neumann in because he was wearing last season's, the season that's just ended, his kit. I think that'll be quite funny because it'll be the only time he'll ever wear it. Thought that was quite odd. Um, but yeah, the club just did some promo videos and stuff with him, so he's coming in. That's quite exciting. You think him and Clara will probably be our starting centre back duo next season, so that's pretty cool. Otherwise, the club announced the released and retained list. We kind of touched on this a little bit last season and said it wasn't like, sorry, last week, and we said it's not like last season where we had so many players out of contract. Um, but they basically announced one or two things. So obviously Duke has retired. They announced that. But the two players really in the senior team that have left, along with loan players, obviously Luke Harris, Kieran Dowell, Ben Davis, were all on loan. So for now, they've gone back to their parent clubs. But the only two really that have left who were on permanent contracts were Grant Hanley and Lee Myung-jae.
Hanley
Hanley
wasn't
is
really
a
a
complete,
shock, was it?
no, like it's a complete no-brainer. Kind of bit of an end of career, towards the end of his career. You know, obviously a bit of an extra body to shore up the defense and so on. Did his job fine, I guess. Yeah, Lee Myung-jae was a bit of a weird one because he came in January, but then was obviously he's from South Korea. And I think I heard a bit about how, like, I think I could be wrong, but I think the South Korea season runs a little differently to ours. So it maybe been their off season, and he maybe wasn't like up to the speed in terms of fitness to come in. So he didn't even get on the bench for like months, and then he got on the pitch like once or twice towards the end. And now we've released him, so really strange one. He kind of didn't really. Buchanan was injured, so Cochrane was our only left back. So I would have just got someone, just kind of any competent left back in who could cover. Lee Myung-jae didn't really fill that gap, even though what we saw of him towards the end was actually quite promising. Find it odd that they signed someone who was blatantly not fit
Not
enough.
ready.
No, to come in for most of the season, why would you get him in? So that to me was a bit weird. So yeah, aside from them two, they announced a series of youth players that have left as well, along with Junior Dixon, including Junior Dixon, I should say. The only kind of real interest otherwise in terms of contracts was Zaid Betteka, who's a player who got a little bit of game time here and there. I think he came on very briefly against Lincoln in the Cup as a youth player, signed his first pro contract with the club. So that's all very exciting as well. Good to see some youth players coming through. Speaking of like the academy and so on, the only other real bit of news was Blues just announced today that lead professional development coach Steve Spooner has left the club. He worked with the club for about 20 years with the club's under 18s and under 21s. Kind of obviously would have been influential in bringing through players like the Bellingham, Jude and Joe Bellingham, Jordan James, Damari Gray, Jack Butland, and so on. And he
Caretaker
was
a little bit
obviously
as well, didn't he?
yeah, so he obviously he probably did quite a few games across his time actually. In fact, I think he would have managed a game or two this season actually, 17-18, when it would have been probably both when Redknapp and Cottrell got sacked actually. He definitely did a game or two after Rooney left. So yeah, actually, oh no, and in fact he did the end of the him and Gardner, Craig Gardner did the. Do you remember when Pep Clotet left and we were on
Oh
that
my
awful
God, yeah.
and him and I remember it was like it was still possible we could go down and Pep Clotet left and then the club announced like there's kind of rumors going around like oh is someone going to come in with like 4 games to go and then the club just announced that Steve Spooner and Craig Gardner were going to step up and we were like well that's inspiring with
Yeah.
and we technically Steve Spooner did keep us up technically even though I think we got 1 point from like our last 10 games or whatever it was that year. But no, focusing on the positive stuff, he obviously was very well respected going through, and it sounds like he's retiring. He says he's worked in football for like nearly 50 years, so it sounds more like that's what he's thinking. And I suppose Blues have had such a great season, maybe that's part of it. I don't know, but no, good luck to him, and yeah, obviously, hopefully they get someone really good in to fill the role. Obviously, the club's going up to Category One academy, Category One status with the academy as well, so all pretty promising. In terms of that, and hopefully they can get someone really good in, and the academy can continue to grow and bring through more talented youth players. Otherwise, not really any major transfer rumours. Obviously, I mentioned last week the club announced they're doing a pre-season tour of Portugal in July. So yeah, all is normal really, and kind of looking forward to hopefully the kit reveal fairly soon and all that, and obviously 150th anniversary coming up. So it's yeah, pretty exciting time to be a Blues fan as we go into the new championship season.
I know we don't really do transfer rumors, but I feel like
Yeah,
there's a big elephant in the room that we have to talk about on the Villa side,
go for it.
post Spurs. So obviously last home game of the season, players do their lap of honor. There were a couple of very tearful eyes from a couple of players on the Villa Park turf. One of them was Leon Bailey. Looks like he's going to go. Not really a surprise. He probably would have been. I think everyone kind of expected that his time would probably come to an end because his season's been such a disappointment this year through form and injuries and what have you. Um, but the big one was obviously Emi Martinez crying on the pitch as he walked off, and well, I mean, it sent alarm bells racing throughout Aston Villa, and it doesn't take much to put two and two together. But it looks like he could be potentially leaving or probably leaving. It depends if you want to be in denial about it, like I am. Um,
Is there any rumors about where he might be going?
so I think there is interest from Barcelona, Manchester United, and definite from two Saudi clubs. Just
Right.
can't see the Saudi thing. They'll obviously pay the money that we'd want for him if we were to sell him, but I just can't see him in a World Cup year going
True.
to Saudi Arabia.
Then
I
back to
don't
that.
know. I just can't see it, especially for someone who's very set. He's been in England for a long, long time. His wife and family are very settled in England. They've just opened another store. His wife has just opened another shop in Solihull, I think. They are very settled in the West Midlands. So I just can't see him up sticking to Saudi. It just doesn't, I don't know.
Upsticking.
Yeah.
Can't see it upsticking to Saudi. No, but I mean, the Barcelona thing would make sense in many ways. The only thing with the Saudi thing, I completely get your point about the World Cup. Obviously, it's only a year to go. The only thing with that is, does that affect it as much as we think it does when he's clearly their best goalkeeper? He's going to go it regardless.
Oh
You
yeah,
think
yeah.
Messi's playing in
It'll
America,
still be the
like
number one anyway for Argentina. But I'm thinking more of I don't know if I'm a player wanting to prepare ahead of
being
the World
assets, sort
Cup,
of.
I
Yeah.
want to be I want to be playing top level football in the run up to a World Cup where they're going to be trying to defend the World Cup, which is an
Mm.
insanely difficult thing to do.
Yeah, I think maybe like, but you look at, I mean, Ronaldo was already playing in Saudi Arabia, wasn't he, when the Euros happened last year? I know it didn't really work out for him,
Yeah,
so
and he
that's
was
maybe a good point.
rubbish.
Yeah, true, true. But I mean, you look at Messi playing in the MLS. I find Side note, I find it mad. It unbelievable that Messi and Ronaldo are probably going to go to the
I
World
know.
Cup next year.
It's ridiculous.
If I was Messi, I'd go out on the high of winning it. But to go to six World Cups is unbelievable, unprecedented, absolutely unbelievable. 20 years of going to the World Cup. But
Do you
no,
reckon it's because
yeah,
do you reckon they were both kind of expecting to call it a day, but because the other one's going, they're going, oh, I'm gonna have to go then.
possibly, yeah. I bet Ronaldo's got a bit of like just one more go. But if I was Messi, I'd be like, the only thing with that is I suppose he's on a roll, isn't he? They've won the Copa America a couple of times and the World
Yeah.
Cup. Anyway, side note.
Martinez.
I could see Barcelona. I could see that being a good fit. Martinez at Barcelona. Good. They're kind of on the way back, aren't they? Barcelona got some very good, very, very good players. Um, yeah, interesting. Man United, I'm not sure about that. They're so,
I think that'll go cold now that they're not in the Champions
yeah,
League next year.
yeah.
And I don't, and I would, I have a sneaky suspicion that it really depends how Sunday goes. I think if we do make it into the Champions League, I think the chances of keeping him are much stronger. It sounds like we're gonna have to sell at least one player before the end of June to comply with PSR again for this year. That is definitely a raging debate for another day, on that. But we are gonna. I mean, at the awards night last night, I think Damien Vinagani said it could be a tough summer. Certainly the first part of the summer is going to be tougher. So I think as soon as we clear June the 30th, we can kind of breathe again. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean, I was quite content with being in the Europa League, but if it means that we're going to lose our world-class goalkeeper and it, our only genuine world-class player, all of a sudden, yeah, I don't want to be in that anymore. Give me the Champions League.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know.
Is there anyone? So
It's one that doesn't make sense to me. I just don't understand why of all the players we could pick to sacrifice for PSR, he just is nowhere near the top of my list. I think we have two irreplaceable players in our squad. One is Ollie Watkins and one is Emi Martinez.
I don't know if. Side note, I don't know if Martin is more so than Watkins, definitely.
Maybe,
Martinez is
maybe.
world class. Watkins
Mar
isn't. But anyway,
No,
it's
but
another day.
I think if Ollie Watkins left this summer, and again that's a possibility still, I think people would have a very rude awakening the next year. You know, Ollie Watkins has hit double figures in every season he's had for us. He's hit 15 goals in all but one of those seasons as well. You know,
Yeah,
it's not just his goals, it's his work rate and his assists. He gets a lot of assists for a number nine. He is
yeah,
not, you know, it's the one thing you always said about when it was the Duran versus Watkins debate. Duran was a great goal scorer, but his pressing from the front was poor, and I don't think he got an assist. He might have got one league assist with us. He didn't set goals up for other people. He just scored goals like a traditional number
yeah. I
nine, I
suppose.
suspect.
Yeah, strikers are a bit of a dozen a dime, I suppose.
Yeah,
Do you
I
think
mean,
Villa will go in for? Do you think Villa will go in for Bailey Peacock Farrell?
no, I
No,
can't see it.
it'd
But here's the thing,
take a
though.
big, it'd take a big bid to get it.
I'd say the thing is, you know, Martinez isn't just a top goalkeeper. He's a fan favorite, someone who really has bought into from the day he walked into the door, bought into the club and the culture and what Aston Villa is as a club. And on top of that, is a world-class goalkeeper. He's one of the very few goalkeepers you see that will come for crosses so confidently and catch it almost every single time. You see so many goalkeepers. I'm going to take Vicario as an example because he fluffed one last night in the final. Was he came for some sort of cross, didn't try to catch it, sort of tried to punch it and just dropped it on his own player's head, and it very nearly ended up in the back of the net. You know, having got confident goalkeepers that command their box are so hard to come by. You know, you sell Emi Martinez, new guys come in, has got huge shoes to fill anyway. What happens in the first game of the season if he comes for a cross, drops one, we go 1-0 down? Every time the ball's going in the box, everyone's going, a bit like when Robin Olsen has played in goal for us when Emi's been injured, is the ball goes anywhere near him and everyone starts panicking and holding their breath.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, one
I
to keep
just
tabs on.
wouldn't sell him, but we will see what happens.
No, no, one to keep tabs on anyway. Shall we have a little look across the West Midlands? Just a very brief look at Coventry and Walsall.
Yeah,
Coventry, obviously, the playoff dream died.
contrasting fortunes.
Yes, Dan Ballard, the scourge of Coventry, 123rd minute, was it? Like he scored.
Yeah, they've had some
So when
real heartbreak the last couple of years, haven't they? They lost the playoff final on penalties, then they lost the FA Cup semi-final on penalties, having come from 3-0 down, thought they'd won it and hadn't, and then this 3 years in a row. Oh,
Yeah, that FA Cup one must be the worst. That was just ridiculous. Um, yeah, feel for them a bit. Really heartbreaking. Sounds like they, obviously Mason Clark got them level on aggregate in the second leg. Surprising. I thought Sunderland would see them off in the second leg at a full stadium of light. It would have been interesting to see where penalties would have gone with like the level of pressure on them. But it means it'll be a Sunderland Sheffield United final. You said Sheffield Wednesday then. A Sunderland Sheffield United final. You'd probably put your money on Sheffield United. Look at a bit of a cut above. I know as a team going into the Championship, they're one team I'd like to get rid of, Sheffield United, even if they are becoming a proper yo-yo team. They've been very good this year and a bit unlucky to miss out on the automatics.
yeah.
But yeah, feel for them. But Lampard's done a terrific job, really, since he's gone in, and they'll probably
Well,
do
we
what they
did
always do
call it.
next year. They'll probably, yeah, we did call it, but I think everyone did. They'll probably start slow again next year, and then fire on all cylinders. And you won't put it past them to be up there again next year. Or in and around the playoffs. I think if they can hold on to some of their key players again.
They do seem like a team that I know it doesn't always work out like this, but they do seem like a team that it's not far away. They will go up in one of these. It feels like it's coming, if you know what I mean. I mean, sometimes
Yeah, I
it
think that was.
doesn't. Sometimes, I mean,
Mm,
Derby floated around the playoffs and automatics for a long time through the 2010s and never got over the line. And
yeah,
obviously,
completely.
you end up with you were kind of getting 6 or 7 sort of yo-yo teams now.
Yeah,
But
it's hard now. I mean, like you look at again Sheffield United. I know was it? I think they've been in the Championship for 2 years now, haven't they? No, they were in it last year
no,
in the
no,
Premier
they've
League.
bounced up and
Um,
down.
but yeah, so it is hard. It's such a limited pool of teams now. To be the best of the rest is, it's an achievement in and of itself, as patronizing as that sounds. But it's pretty mad. Like if you look at a bit of a tangent, but teams that came down from the Premier League uh, last year, so it was Luton, Burnley, and who was the other one? Was Sheffield United the other
Sheffield
one?
United.
Yeah. So if Sheffield United go up, there's every chance that none of the teams that came down will be in. the Championship next season because Burnley and Sheffield United have gone up again potentially, and Luton have gone down. So it's really a mad setup. Less teams with parachute payments in the Championship, I guess, could help the division be bit more competitive. But no, commiserations to Coventry. That was a bit of a shock. I even thought the game had been announced as going to penalties. I just because I couldn't watch it live.
Yeah.
No, saw it was full time. So that was commiserations to them. Better fortunes for Walsall. They're in the League Two playoff final, so they've overcame that awful end to last season. To the season just gone. They beat Chesterfield 4-1 on aggregate. It sounds like
Albert
a bit of
Adoma played like Ronaldinho.
well, in
Rolling
score,
back the years.
Charlie Lakin and Alfie Chang did across the two legs, ex-Blues players. So, but no, dismantled Chesterfield, beaten 2-1 at their home stadium the other night. They're playing Easter Monday in the final. They're playing AFC Wimbledon at Wembley. So good luck to them. Be interesting to see how they get on in League One next year if they are able to get up. So it's fourth v fifth as well. So it's the two teams that finished highest in the league. Both had kind of rocky ends to the season, it's fair to say, but have turned it on in the playoffs. So yeah, should be really good. So we'll keep tabs and we'll touch on that next week, depending on what the outcome is. So yeah, that's a little wrap up of the playoffs anyway.
Lovely stuff. That probably wraps us up for this week. It's probably been a bit longer than we anticipated it to be.
I know, yeah. So
Um,
we'll jump on for 20 minutes, but here we
yeah.
are. That's the kit run
Um,
for you.
yeah, that's the kit rants for you. But yeah, I have a feeling our very next episode will probably be the season review by the
Yes.
sounds of things. I don't think we're going to have an episode quite in the immediate week, post Premier League. So a huge week for Villa, and we'll see what happens, and we'll say a prayer that Old Trafford curses can leave us alone for 1 year,
Yeah.
and we'll see where we end up at the end of it.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'd be honest with you, Man United are the worst team ever. So if I were you, I'd be fairly confident. I think they'll be very deflated after their cup final loss last night. But it'd be interesting nonetheless. But yeah, as Callum says, we'll be back. We'll be back soon with we're going to do our sort of we do a big end of season review every season and then an end of calendar year review every year. So looking forward to that. We'll have all sorts of categories. You know, best goal, best moment, best player, worst moment, biggest disappointment, all that stuff. So really looking forward to that. That should be really good. But until then, Kel, keep right on.
See you next time, Dan, and up the Villa.